You've got to give up the good to get the great. You've got to give up the good to get the great. But the thing is you have to give up the great to get the amazing. And the real clincher of it all is you have to give up the amazing to get the fucking spectacular. And 90% of people, 95, maybe even more % of people, don't want to give up the good. Never mind the great and the amazing. It's like, well, it's good. And they settle. And there's been so many times in my life where everything has fallen apart. And I've just sat in gratitude. And I'm like, wow, if this is going, what the fuck's next? Wow, I'm so excited. And to truly elevate ourselves and upgrade ourselves and take our lives to a next level, you have to be willing to give up everything and have nothing. And I'm not just talking about physical things. I'm talking about the story, the narrative that you hold in your minds. And this applies no matter what area and what level you are in life. You know, I deal with clients from every end of the spectrum. I have clients that work with me that have to save up for a couple of months to have a session. I've got clients who work with me that pay me a 10 grand retainer just so they can utilize me whenever they want. I've got clients who are literally billionaires, and every single one of them have challenges and attachments. And poverty mindset is at all levels, but it's just a different level of poverty. You know, some people think earning 100 grand this month was a shit month. I got some of this conditioning from my father, because when I was like a teenager, you know, my father worked for Allied Dunbar, one of the big insurance companies, and that's going back 31 years. And he was earning £180,000, which was about $360,000. It was $2 to a pound back then, I remember. And that was 30 years ago. And he was always broke. Why? He had a very luxurious lifestyle. And he basically lived to that level. But he was always stressing about money. I had one of my, first big clients, which was a $250,000 client. He had 20 million in the bank, but he didn't spend any money. He had 10 million in actual physical cash and 10 million in Bitcoin. And he would spend a whole afternoon looking for a second-hand frying pan so he didn't have to buy a new one. Didn't value his time as much. So the complexities of the psychology around money and things like that is fascinating. And it's sometimes contradictory. And it's sometimes different for different people. There's people that just spend money like, they've got no care in the world. But because of that, the money comes in, because there's no lack there. Now, for some people, sometimes being frugal is a way to abundance. There's a saying in England, a penny saved is a penny earned. And to some degree, this actually applies again to no matter what level you're at. I mean, to some degree, the old looking for that second-hand frying pan was an extreme version of this. Yeah. But one good exercise for anybody at any time is to go through your expenses and look at it with a fine tooth comb, so to speak. And if you wrote down every single dollar and cent that leaves your account or leaves your hand, and write down what it's for, you will then get a good idea of where your money's going and how effectively you're using it, and whether you're kind of frittering it away on frivolities or you're channeling it into areas which could give you a return, whether you're having liabilities or assets.